Volleyball is something that I found at a young age. I didn't really know how much I loved it until I started getting more competitive about it. I joined volleyball just for fun, dared my friends to try out with me. The more competitive I got about it, the more I just wanted to keep going. And I think one thing I love about volleyball is that it's our team versus them. It kind of brings the team atmosphere into it, which is something really special. I really love Illinois for just what it's given me and what the opportunities that it's allowed me to have. One thing that's been amazing for me is the team culture and the coaches and the atmosphere created on the court that transfers off the court as well, everything that comes with that. So I was diagnosed with ANCA vasculitis, which is an autoimmune disease. Basically, your immune system starts to attack itself. When I was diagnosed, I also found out I had pneumonia at the time. The kidneys didn't actually start getting affected until about a week to 2 weeks after I got diagnosed. I assumed that things were kind of getting better, and then that's when the disease kind of hit my kidneys at the time, and I decreased to 30% kidney function. I spent that time in the hospital, got plasma transfusions to help boost kind of reducing the inflammation in my kidneys to try and get them back to 100%. It was a really, I think, confusing time, but with that confusion came relief. Everything started to make sense again. All my symptoms lined up. Everything I felt was kind of validated that it was something wrong. There's days where I would feel fine. I just feel normal again. I knew that there was something bigger going on in my body that I needed to take care of. Volleyball is not the main thing right now. What's going on inside me and figuring out what the rest of my life will look like. My way of trying to deal with that was looking at what athletes had it to see how they continued their life, not just volleyball players, but just continued their life outside of it and with an autoimmune disease. I had this conversation with my mom in the hospital. She asked me one night when it was a rough day of test results, and she goes, you know, if you never want to play volleyball again, I'll still love you and we'll still love you and support you. Like, this is totally your choice. Growing up, I've always been worried, like, what if I'm playing volleyball for someone else? What if I'm playing volleyball because I want to prove something to other people or make other people happy? Even through all this, being sick and having every opportunity to be able to just be like, no, I'm done, this is kind of a sign for me. My thought process was always, okay, so I gotta get healthy and then when am I back? And I'm always asking the doctors, like, what's the timeline? What's the weeks like? What are the months like? And I think it was an eye-opener for me to realize that my brain never went to, okay, I think this is it. It was kind of like, okay, when do I get back? And how do I move through this? And I think that's where I kind of realized how much I loved volleyball. On every team, everyone plays a role, and those roles can change time to time very quickly. I think that for me, I wanted to be the best in whatever I could be for the team, and I knew that my position and my role in this team was to be support. And if that meant cheering my butt off and yelling as loud as possible on the sidelines, I was going to do anything I could to give to this team because they've given so much to me. I really hope that I can just be someone to prove to people that it's possible to get through those tough times. It's easy to have toxic positivity where it's like, everything's fine, I'm gonna be great, this is all gonna work out. Because there were days where I was like, oh, I'm gonna be totally fine, this is great. And the next day I was like, oh my God, like, why me, why this, why that? And I noticed how much I would fluctuate and going up and down in these feelings. I was trying to force myself to feel a certain way about what was going on instead of just being like, this is what it is, this is where I'm at right now. I think that my competitiveness is definitely a drive, that this is not a dead end for me. And I have these goals that I really want to reach, and that's something that I keep those in mind as far as close they may be to me. And I hope that I can be a balance of understanding the hard days and feeling those hard days and getting through them. Even if you get diagnosed with autoimmune diseases or any sort of sickness or any injury, that trusting in the process that you can become a better person and athlete for it.